Hey guys, Herman Sayer here, and I'm going to be reading the last part of What's Wrong with Their Faces. Okay. Stan's dead. I have no idea what that was. Stan's dead. They killed him, ripped him apart, limb from limb. They broke into the station and attacked us. I don't know how I got away, but I ran. I could hear Stan's cries from behind me. I could hear the blood spilling onto the carpet. I could hear his bones breaking, his skin tearing. His screams burned into my head. I've never heard anything like that. He didn't even tell me where he remembered me from. He started talking about some 6-year-old girl's body a girl's body they found a while back. But as he explained, they came. I didn't make out who they were because it was so dark. Stan fired 3 shots. Only 2 of them connected. Stan told me to run, so I did. I was selfish. I shouldn't have ran. I should have helped. He would still be here with me if I did. I ran into the street and kept going. I had no idea where I was going. It was too dark to make anything out. I ran until I reached a roadblock. I reached the roadblock me and Alex were at. I remember James murdering my sister in front of me. I deserved to die. Oh, I remember sitting there not doing anything. I could have helped her. I could have helped saying, I was a coward. I deserve to die. I'm going to die. I'm hiding somewhere in the dark, typing this right now. My brightness is turned down, but I doubt that will help much. I tried cars, but they're all dead. I ran to the forest for what seemed 4 hours, but I couldn't see anything. I tripped multiple times, cutting myself with sharp rocks and bruising myself on the cold, hard ground. I must have ran in a circle because I ended up in a neighborhood. I broke into the closest house and ran upstairs. I locked myself in their bathroom. I've been up here for an hour now. I'm trying to type as fast as possible. I don't care about any spelling mistakes I make anymore. They don't matter. I can't hear them coming. I can hear them coming. They're calling my name. I can hear my mom and my dad calling. They're asking me to come home. I can hear the twigs breaking under their feet. They must still think I'm in the forest. I wish I had Stan's gun. I would just end it here. Why I'm typing this out. My final hour, and I'm explaining how I am about to die to a bunch of strangers. My phone has about 5% left on. I don't have much time. If you read this, do not come looking for me. I don't know what's been going on, what's going to happen to me. Probably what happened to Stan. I'm shivering just thinking about it. I've never been good with pain, but I deserve to die. I left Stan dead. He saved my life, and I just left him. My phone lights up. And as I receive a message. It's Jane. I completely forgot she was still in Quebec. I forgot how I had another sister this whole time. I should have called her. I should have asked her to help. It's too late now. I've made too many mistakes. I'm going crazy. I'll be home in an hour. Smiley face. Don't come home, Jane. My text isn't sending, but this is my last effort to reach you. Don't come. I'm trying to type this as fast as possible. Can you hear them coming up the stairs, Jane? There's no home. Everyone you love is dead. I won't be alive to greet you. These people you once called your family are gone, replaced by some demon pretending to be like them. Do not trust them. Trust no one. I love you, Jane. I love you so much. They're at the door. For can't type properly. Please, Jane, don't come home. Don't come home. Not your family. Not your family anymore. Don't trust anyone. Son, come home. Don't come home. Please don't come home. Trust no one. Don't trust nothing. Our lives have been a lie. Trust no one. Trust no one. Holy cow, that is sad. I'm going to read I Love You, Jane, which is another blog. I recently came back from Quebec after a few weeks. I think there's something wrong. I've always been that paranoid chick who believes in everything and anything and everything. Every time I watch a horror movie, I expect something to happen to me that night. I I know nothing won't, but I still fear that I will live with that nightmare. I got home and instantly felt like there was something wrong with my house. The mood was different. I usually have a very stressed vibe at my house, but when I walked through the door, I felt like I was in the wrong house. I'm home, I yelled, awaiting a response from one of my family members. My mom stepped out of the kitchen. She looked different. I don't know what it was. She just stared at me blankly as if a stranger walked into her home. Hi, I said, smiling. She just stared at me, almost as if she didn't know me. After about 10 seconds, she broke her frozen stance and ran at me, giving me hugs and kisses. As she hugged me, I felt as if it wasn't my mother. I know this doesn't make much sense, but she was different. She couldn't stop smiling. Even when I told her someone stole my purse in Quebec, my dad was the same as well. He hugged me and was smiling the entire time. My brother, Charlie, came down the stairs. And this is when it got weird. Me and my brother have a very love-hate relationship. We don't really show each other affection. But when he saw me, he gave me that same blank stare, then hugged me as well. It felt like I was in a house full of strangers. Charlie, like everyone else, wouldn't stop smiling. I could tell something was off. Like, it was like they were completely different people. Even our dog, Abby, was acting odd. She's a very loving dog that adores Mom. She's always following her around and has major separation issues. But Abby was sitting in the corner, just staring at us. Her tail was tucked in between her leg and her head was held down like she was in trouble. She looked scared. I may be reading into it too much, but I just had a gut feeling. Where's Alex? I asked. Alex is my sister, 2 years younger. What do you mean, honey? Mom replied. Her eyes were focused on me, but then shifted to the left. I turned around and saw Alex standing behind me. I don't know where she came from, but she just appeared. She just stared around and she just stared at me, and that's in me in some stance. Wait, she just stared at me in some stance. And after a few seconds of silence, jumped up and hugged me. I was extremely confused as to why they were acting all different, but I assumed I was just being my paranoid self and shrugged it off. The next day, things got weird. I woke up in my room and walked downstairs. My mom was standing in the kitchen, but she wasn't doing anything. She was just standing still, back towards me. I instantly noticed that some pictures had been moved around in odd places. One picture of a cow my mom was into odd and different art styles was hanging sideways. I also noticed that some pictures were slightly tilted to the side. My mom is very picky about the house. She hates when anything's out of place. Why are the pictures like this? I asked her. She stood there in silence for a while. I felt a shiver down my spine. There was something wrong. What pictures? She replied. But it wasn't a question. She said it as a statement. Her voice was extremely deep. It almost didn't sound like her. I walked a little further down the steps. I could see wrinkles on her cheeks spreading. It was a smile. What could she possibly be smiling about? She faced the wall, doing absolutely nothing. Are you okay? I asked. She turned around instantly and smiled fadedly. Of course, she smirked. Would you like pancakes? Sure. I was starving. My brother came down the stairs, sat beside me. He looked exhausted. Large, dark bags were under his eyes. His once bright brown eyes were now a dark gray. This is when I knew something was wrong. How could someone's eyes just turn gray? That wasn't possible. Alex came from the basement. She sleeps there. I sat beside Charlie. There's a weird sound coming in the basement, she asked. She smirked and looked at Charlie, whose face was completely blank. It looked like someone drained the life out of him. I can't come check. Can you come out, check out the sound, Jane? Alex asked me. I don't want to. The basement always freaks me out. I didn't want to. Sorry, I can't. Alicia just texted me to come over. She got a new dog. Alicia's one of my good friends. But she's also friends of Alex, so I was hoping that I could get to her house and tell her the weird things that's been happening. I ate my pancakes, which tasted like crap, and headed over to Alicia's. I could feel my family watching me as I left. Their eyes piercing the back of my head. I felt uneasy, as if I didn't know these people. When I got to Alicia, she was acting strange as well. I could see strands of hair falling out. Her eyes were dark gray as well. I just assumed she had gone to a long party. She loved to get blackout drunk. I hang out with her for an hour, telling her about what's happening, but she never really spoke back to me. I felt like she was different too. I made up a lie that I had to go home, and she wouldn't stop asking me to stay, even grabbed my arm firmly and tightly and begged. I actually started to get scared and told her I wasn't feeling well. She let go of my arm and smiled and said goodbye. My stomach felt uneasy. These were not people I knew. They were all acting strange, as if something happened while I was gone. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go home. I'm sitting in the mall parking lot. Everyone else who passes is smiling and staring at me. Getting texts from my family to come home, and Alex asked me to check out the sound in the basement. I don't know what to do. I think there's something wrong with my town. Okay. I am going to make one more episode, which is update 2 of this. If it updates again, I'll read the rest. Yeah. But I hope you enjoyed. And before I end the video, it said in the last update of Charlie's one, it said that there was a 6-year-old girl's body found. I want to hear your predictions on it. Mine is that 6-year-old girl was Alex, and that thing took over Alex all those years ago. That's what I think. If you agree with me, say yes in the comments. If you don't, I want to hear your theory. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Goodbye.